sake of art and the interest of science, here we go. Good morning, everybody, and welcome aboard the Nautilus Bellamy. We've arrived at the famous dive site of Isla San Benedicto, the boiler. Chance for a little manta romance. This is what you've all been waiting for. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. Very excited to get everyone out there to start diving.
I mean, the Socorro Islands were on our radar for quite some time. So when Virodive came up to propose this trip, we were more than happy and teamed up with Nick Linder, who is a freediving world champion. He's also a super nice guy. Who doesn't know him? We thought it might be a cool idea to give it a try, to shoot some footage of him freediving with whatever comes along.
I remember the first telephone talk with Florian, but actually there was not a lot of, not a big briefing. This was very spontaneous.
Who doesn't want to dive with giant manta rays, sharks, dolphins, and maybe even humpback whales if you're there at the right time of the year? The first impression when we went on the boat was super great. It's the Nautilus Bellamy. It's traditional liverboard diving. There is nitrox on board, and the crew doesn't have a problem to sink you 4 times a day. Absolutely no problem. We are 28 guests. You might think that this is a big group, but you don't really feel that because the boat is just very big. It's a super professional crew, and so you can focus on what you're really here for, which is diving, 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 a little bit of battery recharging, sleeping and eating. Diving is organized in 3 groups. The order of diving always rotates during the days. Diving is performed pretty close to the boat, so you get on the skiff and you only have a 2-minute boat ride to the dive spot. And then everything follows the same procedure. One, 2, 3, and off you go. The first dive location is at San Benedicto. It's called the Boiler. It's a pinnacle that rises up close to the surface, and it's got its name from bad weather days when it looks like boiling water from the surface due to the waves and swell. And there the Clarion angelfish rule. The giant Pacific mantas fly in, and as soon as they do that, the Clarion angelfish go out, try to find some parasites to nibble off. I think that symbiosis might be the reason why the mantas are getting so interactive with the divers and coming so close. And it's kind of cool just to hang out there and enjoy the show. It doesn't take long to figure out how to ride on a manta's back. When you see it coming, you just duck under the wing, let it pass and hop on the back. They get up to 7 meters in diameter. It's not a real ride, you don't touch it, of course, because you don't want to cause any harm. And you can just flow and fly with them as long as you get bored or you get too far off the topography. Oh yes, I could keep doing this forever, but there are a few more things on our list. On the one hand, we are testing a new lighting concept from Keldan, which is supposed to give very natural color. And then on the other hand, we want to use that lighting concept to shoot footage of Nick Linder freediving with, in this case, manta rays. Yeah, I know, it's kind of bold to think that you can just bring a freediver out here and that you will be able to get super cool footage, but we wanted to give it a try anyway.
Finding the right spot was possible because I could see these massive lights of Florian's camera gear, and they were really, really bright.
We thought the main challenge is to communicate. So we have to rely on hand signals and sheer luck to coordinate the shots. And of course on Nick's ability to hold his breath for several minutes. To dive down through all that swell, bad visibility, 25-30 meters deep, actually having enough breath to spend some time there. And for me, the challenge is to be in the right position because we don't really have much time to move around and we want to make the best out of it. But I think it worked out pretty well.
I remember one situation, I went down and it was really face to face with me. I went back and I came up with my upper body and he did the same. It was kind of a dance.
Your attention, divers, this is the captain speaking. Perfect morning this morning. P-Bay, our chef, has made his famous muffins for your enjoyment. If you come up to the back deck now, you'll see the crew unloading the skips and preparing for the dive day. This lovely cove that we're anchored in is on the eastern side of Isla Socorro. If you're not out of bed yet, now's your chance. Grab your cameras, head up to the sun deck. It's a perfect sunrise, folks. Very little wind, seas are calm. Great time to fly your drones, folks. Time to fly your drones. Doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, and this is how it is out here. While Nick is still doing his daily breathing session with the other divers on the sun deck to get relaxed for a tiring day of diving, I prefer to fly the drone and have a look from above. You might think that there is not much to see, but the lonely wilderness is actually stunningly beautiful, especially from the air. You can see the volcanic rock formations shaped by the waves and the wind, reaching down below the surface. It's all pretty dry and rough, and you get the idea that the 4 islands of this archipelago are just the summits of a massive underwater mountain range. And the islands are a natural reserve. There is only one settlement, which is right here on Isla Socorro. It's actually a Navy base. But other than that, there's absolutely nothing, and it's not allowed to set foot on land. Being out here feels very, very far from everything. And flying the drone out here reminds me even more that it is a privilege to see all this in the first place. There are over 20 endemic species of birds on these islands, but the real action happens below the surface, of course. Our first dive site here is Cabo Piers, right here on the tip of this long rock, well known for great whale and dolphin encounters, but also for blazing current. But enough talking and flying, let's hear again what Captain Bryden has to say.
We're here at Cabo Piers. The dolphins await you. That's right, folks. The dolphins await you. Everyone to the top deck. The sooner we get into the water, the sooner you can spend time with the dolphins.
dolphins, they were not interested in me. They were interested in the other ones and the guides, but not in me. So no big interaction, they just passed by. A situation when we shoot it very deep, about 30 plus, and Florian said, well, get out, and I just crossed the border. But each time you cross the end of the reef, you are never sure if there is a current getting you away and you don't know where to end. This was one situation where I was forced to get this octopus, just to get the air, which usually you won't do as a freediver. Some of the moments where I was a bit afraid, just getting out and don't know where this all ends. I remember the first telephone talk with Florian, and I said, I'm not so sure what I shall do with all these scuba divers on 10 days on a boat. And it turns out that everything is perfect. So the group was really nice. They were really fascinated also by this project. So Florian shows them, look, that's what we got. This is how it's gonna be. And from every moment I was more enthusiastic about it.
Welcome back from the Dive Divers. Hope you had a fantastic time. Jorge's on the back deck with some refreshments. Crew's going to help you with your tanks and gear, and we're looking forward to hearing your stories and seeing your pictures of what you saw. Welcome back from the dive, everybody. It's a beautiful sunny morning. Here we are out in the middle of nowhere at Rocca Partida, where if you don't see a white tip, you obviously didn't get in the water. Just getting the skiffs ready, and we're all excited to start another day of diving. But before we do, dive briefing on the sun deck, everybody. All divers at the top deck. Good morning.
So here we are at Rocca Partida, literally in the middle of nowhere. Unbelievable that you can be out here with no other people around, no other boats around, makes it really special. We are super lucky because here for us everything comes together. The weather is perfect and you need good weather. If the weather is not good, you're not even able to get out here. The visibility is perfect and the action underwater is great. The boat can't anchor here. So the captain will float the boat around the rock as long as we are here, which will be for like 2 or 3 days. There is a lot to say about this very small rock, actually. It's an impressive scenery. Very steep walls with all that scratches and formations on it. If you look up and you see the swell and the waves pounding against the rock, if you're lucky, there's a couple of sharks swimming in between. The colors are great. It's just fabulous. You can swim around the rock easily a couple times on a dive if you want to do that. Usually you will get to an edge where the current picks up. That's where the action is, that's where the schools of sharks are. And it's very nice, but it's also not easy to control all that. The current can be really strong, so you got to make sure that you stay close to the rock and you always have the rock in focus. We weren't quite lucky with the hammerheads. They were pretty deep down there. I didn't really want to go that deep. I wanted to extend the dives a little bit. The light situation further down is difficult. But if you are lucky and there is a little bit of current, it might look like this. Quite a few hammerheads down there. But for me, it was really more about the color, the light, the visibility, the manta rays. I kind of like the white tip sharks. The poor guys have no place to rest because the water is so deep that they have no other chance than to pack themselves into the balconies that you find around the rock. 10, 20, 30 sharks in there. And this is definitely one of my favorite dive sites I've dove so far. And then Nick again. We already had some experience together now, and it was kind of easier to communicate because now I can see him on the surface and I can more or less plan the shots a little bit better.
It was quite exhausting for me doing these dives.
You know, usually Nick would have a buoy on the surface and a safety diver on the surface where he can rest and do his breathings and then go down. But that's not possible here, so it's kind of risky for him to get close to his limits, because if anything happens, there would nobody be there to help him. And I think it doesn't make it easier that I make him doing this all over again and again and again.
And one of the most common hand sign was, I was up there, the waves, could not even breathe properly, looking down, and he was always, oh, come down, once again.
If anybody can do it, he can do it. I'm a little bit impatient, I know that, but it was worth it seeing him in the middle of all the checks, sharks. Just perfect.
I really forgot the time. I was just turning, and I even forgot the camera. Just see there are thousands of little eyes looking at you and going around you.
And then all of a sudden, something super strange happened. I was 100% sure that there was a humpback whale just behind me, because the sound that you could hear underwater was so clear and so close. I could hardly keep myself from just swimming out there and trying to find the guy. Having a humpback whale underwater is something I've been dreaming about forever. And I think Nick would also be quite interested in freediving with a humpback whale. So we jumped on the skiff, took a look around.
And then they said, oh, well, there's a humpback close by. So we just jumped in again. Florian, I think he got rid of his lights.
I forgot my snorkel. I swearing the whole time swimming there, completely out of breath. And the following footage was blindly shot, just holding the camera down.
Checking where is Florian. He's there, but he forgot his snorkel, so it was quite tough for him. I went down and I had no idea if he could manage to get this all on camera. I would say 80% chance that you can't get it on the camera so fast. But later on we had a screening for the whole guests in the saloon of the ship, and then he said, look here, we got you.
And there it was, the humpback whale. Small one, but I think it'll do for beginners like me.
I will definitely need a week, 2, 3, just to figure out what I have done here and what great pictures I saw and great experience this was. So it's really, really, really a good experience.
So this is it. This is the trip to the Socorro Islands. Conclusion. Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If you come out here with the Nautilus Bel-Ami on a trip organized by Virondive, then you're perfectly fine. So if you have a chance to do that, don't hesitate. I know it affords to put a lot of money on the table to do that. We should not forget that, but it is absolutely worth it. So I have to say, thank you very much to the captain and his crew who made the time unforgettable. I hope we have a chance to go on a trip together anytime soon again. Yeah, let's get emotional one more time listening to his final words.
Your attention please, divers, this is the captain. Just wanted to say a special word of thanks to Florian, who put together some fantastic videos that made our crew look like movie stars and rock stars. We're all very flattered and humbled by the quality of his work. Thank you, Florian.